for Sylacauga City Schools. This morning I brought with me Mr. Tom Osborne, our Chief Financial Officer, and we're going to talk a little bit about some big projects we've got coming up and a few other little things. So good morning, Mr. Osborne. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So I know that we've got something really exciting coming next week. We've got School Bus Safety Week. So do we have anything in place that we're going to celebrate with next week?
Well, we're kind of keeping that on wraps a little bit right now, but we always have things going on in the school system. So the transportation department, this is my plug, an opportunity for those of you that are interested in joining our team as a bus driver. I'd be amiss if we didn't ask that you come on out and have a conversation, see if you might be interested in joining our team and being a bus driver.
Absolutely. You know, we always need more bus drivers. We've got 2,000 children that we've got to get to school safely, and we need those bus drivers to make sure that they're safe, for sure.
Absolutely. Safety and security is our number one priority, the health and safety of our students, getting them to school, taking care of them while they're at school, feeding them, and educating them as best we can to prepare them for the real world.
Absolutely. So what are some big projects? I know we just entered the new 5-year plan of our strategic plan, and I know we've got some big projects coming up. Would you care to explain some of those projects?
Absolutely. So we've got a lot going on. We have an opportunity to make some improvements, and mechanicals always seem to be the thing. The HVAC, air conditioning, and heating. Obviously, we're starting to get into that heating season a little bit, so trying to get to that point. But that's not the fun stuff, right? The fun stuff we want to talk about, we're in the process of, we're going to be getting a new high school gym floor. I imagine they'll start that process next week, hopefully wrap it up by the end of 2024, and we'll be back in there playing competitively in January. In the meantime, we will be moving our athletic events, gymnasium athletic events, into the Nichols-Lawson Middle School. We just had that floor refinished this last week, and it'll be ready. We tried to fine-tune that exact time between volleyball and basketball. So we'll be getting the competitive floor ready there at Nichols-Lawson for our athletes. On the horizon, obviously, the turf is another big item for us. We'll be looking at replacing the field turf at Legion Stadium in the next year, and getting that field back up to the level of expectation that it can be at. Besides that, we have a new roofing project going on that'll start probably in the spring at Indian Valley. We have a black box theater that's funded by the Lieutenant Governor's K-12 Capital Grant going on at the high school. We finished the secure vestibules at every one of the buildings. We completed those projects, and we're signing off on that and doing those dedications here in the coming weeks. So a lot of things, little things for classrooms, flooring, tiles, security systems, security cameras, just lots of little things going on, but
Absolutely.
Improvements all across the district.
Absolutely. And so could you explain to me a little bit about that black box theater? I know we have the amphitheater, but what exactly is a black box theater and how will it be used?
Sure. Well, that's not my wheelhouse, but I'll do the best I can. So in the black box theater, it's a smaller setting. It's typically in a classroom type thing, and we lay it out where all the walls and everything are black, so that the mechanics and the backdrops, I guess, if you will, can be manufactured in a smaller setting. They'll have their sound and cameras in there, so they'll be able to practice without going out into the stage and having to always move their props and stuff. They'll be able to set up their exact theater dynamics and then practice on a daily basis in a classroom setting, which then ultimately will transition into the auditorium.
Absolutely. Okay, so that makes sense. It gives them more of a practice space instead of having to constantly move around the other events that are happening in the auditorium.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so the sound system and lighting will kind of mimic what's going to be out on the stage in the auditorium, but it gives them just their space to practice. So right now they currently have to move in and move out somewhat regularly because of the use of our facilities is somewhat frequently by guests, right, and people that are renting the facility. So this allows them to have their space and do their practices and really fine-tune things without the difficulty and challenges of having to be mobile.
Having to move around everybody
Absolutely.
else's schedule. Awesome. Well, do you have any other projects or topics that you'd like to talk about today?
Well, I think it's important that we note some of the things that we did get finished,
Absolutely.
right? And like I mentioned, the secure vestibules being a big deal. Last spring, we did the track remediation. Mm-hmm. So the track at Legion Stadium, was all brand new. Mm-hmm. So we've completed that project. We had a roofing project at SHS at the high school that we completed. The secure vestibules we talked about, metal detectors we've implemented at the middle school and high school, alpha alert system for our staff to be able to alert when there's emergency needs in any part of the state, in any part of a school, then it immediately communicates that with emergency services at the county. We have some fire alarm work. I mean, really, it's about the safety and security and the health of our students and our student athletes, and that's really where we try and focus our dollars, is to make sure we spend them appropriately and wisely to meet that goal and objective. I think that might be like the very first thing in our mission or vision or some of our strategic goals, is really taking care of our kids.
Absolutely.
And so it starts by the facilities that they come to, right? And I'm a believer in all my years of education that attendance is affected by the environment, right? And we can control that by making our buildings clean. We've added additional custodians, so they're cleaner, they're safer because we've added video cameras and the metal detectors and the alpha alert programs. So we're slowly trying to get back to where we need to be. We had some funding with the city through the ad valorem that we were able to allocate and direct exactly where it needed to be.
Absolutely, because if we have Aggie Pride in our facilities, we can expect our kids to bring that Aggie Pride and want to be at school because they're being taken care of, they're being fed, they're being educated, and it, like you said, it's a safe and clean environment for them to learn in.
Right. So and it starts at the beginning of the day, right? We pick them up. All our buses are equipped with brand new radios and brand new video cameras. So it starts there. They get to our buildings. All of our students have the ability to eat free on the community eligibility provision. So we're feeding them breakfast and lunch for free. So now we're taking care of their nutrition needs. And then if they're coming into buildings that are clean, if we're painting, if we're putting new flooring in, the HVAC's working appropriately, so it's either hot or cool depending on what's outside, and then we get them back home safely. And so on the operational side of education, we take that seriously. That's our number one goal every day, is to pick them up, to get them to school and get them home safely, and to provide the environment and the nutrition needs that allow us to make that happen. And I'm pretty proud to say I think we're doing pretty well.
Absolutely, I think so too.
Great.
So it's great. It's a great day to be an Aggie. We're so proud of our students and what we're able to accomplish for them. And just thank you so much for joining me, Mr. Osborne, this morning to talk about some of your projects that you've got coming up.
Absolutely. It's been a pleasure and an honor. I certainly appreciate it.
Awesome. We'll see you next time.